Welcome back, everyone. If you're new here, my name is Bryan Jenks, and today I'm going to tell you about one of my absolute favorite new applications called Research Rabbit. You've likely heard about them around in the space, the PKM space a lot lately. I've talked about them on occasion, and I've been getting around to doing this video for a long time. We've actually worked out a sponsorship deal. This video is sponsored by Research Rabbit, and I could not be happier to be sponsored by them and to work with this team. This team is absolutely amazing. Not only is their product absolutely incredible, it's free, it is actually geared with the academic in mind, it is completely open, and I just literally am over the moon. I cannot stop gushing about this application and the team and their mission endlessly. I'm just way too excited for this video. So if you're excited to hear about Research Rabbit and all the things about it, stay tuned. If you're the type of person who needs to read research papers, either you're an academic or you're just one of the crazy PKM people like me who enjoy reading research papers and distilling information and connecting knowledge together by reading research papers, then this is something that's going to be incredibly useful and intriguing to you. For academics, this is going to be like the next wave of applications that are going to be in the forefront of the academic sphere. This tool, Research Rabbit, and the team behind it are doing incredible things. And I am so excited to talk about this today and to tell you everything I can about them and get you using their service. It's not going to cost you anything. I'm not getting like recurring revenue or anything from this. I am not paid to say something specific. This is like, I'm legitimately excited to talk about this application, and they pushed to sponsor me. I said I'd do this for free, but that's how much I love this team. So let me tell you about this application and where it's going to help you most. If you want to find research papers, often you probably go to Google Scholar. You go to any of these other like paper discovery websites, or you have a university access to a journal, or you pay for a journal subscription. You poor soul. But what Research Rabbit is great for is I want to find a paper, but now I want to find related papers, not just through the citation tree, not just through, oh, this author's works, but I want to have constant availability of pools of different types of papers through different types of connections. Which papers cited this paper? Which paper does this paper cite? So bidirectional, which citations? Who wrote this paper? What are their other works? Who does that individual work with? And their works. Show me those options. Let me grab these papers, add them to a simple collection. When I add things to that collection, oh, random new suggestions based on my search criteria. Show me those results, and constantly refining and adding based on what you're putting into these collections. There is literally so much amazing functionality here for people in the academic sphere that you cannot afford to miss this video. So stay tuned. The best ways to support the channel are, if you're going to do it on an ongoing basis, GitHub sponsors because they take no fees, followed by Patreon. If you're going to do like a one-time thing, buy me a coffee, PayPal, or just fine. And if you just want to support me without any money involved, the best thing you can do is like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and that's it. All right, let's take a look at this application. What is this all about? Welcome to Research Rabbit. This application is absolutely incredible. So let's just say I have a collection of papers that I am building. Personally, right now, I'm researching interoception and postural sway in individuals with ADHD, and maybe how that might be affected by different ADHD stimulant medications. True story. So I have a collection here with some ADHD-related papers. Now, whoa, what happened? What's going on here? So I clicked on my collection, and this collection has something in it. And these are the papers. These are research papers inside of this collection. Is it an actual copy of the paper? No, this is actually just the citation, maybe the abstract, the citation count, the authors, the year, basically metadata from the citations of these papers, because there are some big academic databases connected to Research Rabbit that are free and open, where they get all of their information, and basically make you able to connect and find all different kinds of research papers related to exactly what you care about and what you're looking at a given time. So if you have a collection per project, well then, here's my ADHD collection, building thing. Maybe that's just too broad and I'm getting too many unrelated ADHD papers and I need something more directly and poignant about interoception. So I might do something about that. So let's look at a blank collection. There's nothing in here. We can either add papers by add a citation or literally a copy of a paper and put it in here. And then it can then find other papers based on what you put into here. So if you have a collection of different citations you've already collected, load it into here or just drop some papers in there. And then it's going to start suggesting some new ones to you. Or we can find by search. So let's just do keyword search. And let's just do ADHD interoception. Okay, and it's going to search lens.org. And if you don't know, lens.org is a very powerful academic service that is behind, I believe, ORCID ID or uses ORCID. Well, ORCID is the service. So this is probably searching through a lot of information right now, which is why it's going to take so long. So let's pop back on when it's done. We actually had to switch to PubMed versus lens.org. They were not having a good time. But here we go, keyword search, ADHD interoception. And now I see, wow, I actually have quite a few papers. And one of them is even from 2021. Wow, and some newer ones, 2019, 17, 16, lots of great stuff. I can look at the abstracts. I can see that there are 11 results. I can expand these, show me the abstracts, and I can look at these papers and I can add them to a collection. Wow. So let's find one. Okay, let's see. Let's add this one. Okay, add that to collection. Okay, well, because I was already in the bookmarks collection and I was doing a search, adding this to collection adds this to the bookmarks collection. Okay, so if I go all the way back over here, I can click on this paper, and now this paper gives me a bunch of other options. What is going on here? I don't even know what's going on anymore. I added a new paper to a collection. I added by search, or I can just add new papers. Oh, okay. Similar work. Let's work left to right. Similar work. So given what's in this collection right now, it's just this paper. I want to find similar work to this particular item. And this thing has 1,720 results of potentially similar work. Now, I guess that could be either based on the subject matter, keyword search, the authors, intersections of other authors, the different citations. But wow, look at this one, citation count, 5773. Because we're unifying theory. Wow, okay, that looks interesting. And so now I can go through this and you can see what I'm doing here is that, oh, these are recommendations. Well, I want to add this to the collection. Okay, so let's add this to, I want to actually add this to my ADHD collection, not just the bookmarks. And in fact, this paper I want to add to the ADHD collection. So let's go back to our similar work. And yeah, it's going to have to load. And okay, whoa, what's that? So now that this suggestion was added to another collection, this one actually will tell me when it's added to another collection. So that's really cool. But what are some of the other options that we have in this menu? This is similar work, but these authors, okay, so the authors inside of this collection. So of this paper, there's only 2 authors. So of them, show me. So we can see that these 2 people have this many publications each, and they have that many citations. Wow. And you can even sort them by number of citations, the number of publications, their names. You can filter them by search criteria. I think this actually runs Boolean searches, so this and this or that, etc. You can visualize collaborations between all the depicted authors. So we only have 2 here, but if we had more, you can actually look at the connections between the authors, and you can zoom in. You can even download the image as a PNG, I believe. Yep. So we can download the image of that if we cared to. But okay, well, let's look at this person. And okay, well, we have here. So we have their entire body of work, or this person, all of their published work or their collaborators. And let's look. Okay, what are their published works? They got 271 published works. And so as it has to go through and search for all these things, now here's another graph. Wow, okay. So this is a very popular or big prominent item here, where they are the first author. And connections between your collection and 55 papers. Well, that's what these papers are, which are the citations of this person. So based on the paper I have in the collection, this one, which he's actually an author of, this actually shows me all the connections of this person's paper, all their papers, to this main one. So basically when you cite yourself. So they cited their self on several other papers, and now I can actually read these other papers. And these ones are little orphans over here on doing their own thing. But now you can actually find these papers, and I can say, ooh, that one. And then it opens it up in another panel. And you see, doesn't this look familiar already? We're already here now. So by using this system, we're able to easily fall down, quote unquote, rabbit holes and discover papers, discover research, and use that research and papers to build our collections, refine our search, and maybe even unearth other knowledge from other academic databases all in same one place without having to deal with quite so much headache, having to do so much trouble with a literature review. And yeah, with this, it just makes discovery so much easier. But here's something really, really cool, is we could easily say, okay, well, here are all the papers from all the published works by F. Xavier Castellanos. So we can say, okay, these authors. So of all of your papers, here are all of the people connected to these papers. And look at this mass of academic collaboration. And it only shows the first 50 because there's 300 here. So we could filter there, and this whole way, either by people, by citations, by the papers, relevance, just all these different facets of ways of looking for research papers. This is absolutely incredible. Now, there are several other options that I haven't really been poking at, and that is really the export. Okay, well, what is this export? We've seen how we can find similar items and we can add them to collections. And when we find a particular item and we want to look at the similar work and we see that related items are actually in some of our collections already and we can see that tag there, okay, cool. But, oh wait, there's also a timeline. Before I forget, there's a great timeline that shows you the most recent papers, and then this is the actual one that we care about today. This is the one we're looking at right here. See, it even highlights it. Highlight that, and it actually highlights the panel. Now, this actually shows you the timeline. So when was all of this research done? These are some older ones, 91, 92, but this is 2016. So this actually shows a great timeline of the research, so we can find the most recent stuff. That's really awesome. And so now what we can do is we can look at just the citations, just the references, but what is this .bib.riz? And what is this .pdf? What are these things? So this is some of the more powerful stuff. If this PDF is available, it's not behind a paywall from some university, some journal, some service, and it's public and freely available, a PDF, you can actually click that PDF button and open up that research paper. Yep, we're going to download this research paper because it's free and open and available, and I can open that up right in my browser. Here we go. And now it's just a file on my computer, so I can do whatever I want with that file, but this is the paper. Here we go. I now have that paper freely available on my computer. So that is what we can do with when it is publicly available. Now, if you just need citations and you want to collect things that are maybe paywalled and you don't have the option to actually download these papers like this, so we have some options. We can download .bib and .riz. Now, before we do that, what I want to show you too is that also enter a note. Okay, well, what is the note? The note is like a great way of interacting with others, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So when I get to collaboration, we'll look at notes in that. But let's export a .bib. So this whole paper is only a single paper. So let's actually go to the other collection and export that one because there's multiple. And I'm going to export a .bib. Okay, so I'm going to call this .bib ADHD because you'll see why in a second. Now, from what I do here, I now have a file on my system called ADHD.bib. And it's going to open up right here, and this is what it looks like. It's basically just citation information for those papers and the abstracts. But that's it. What do I do with this thing? So now that I have the .bib file, what do I do with it? So I'm going to actually go over to Zotero, and what I can do with Zotero, and I'll go more into detail on all the academic workflow now that I use ResearchRabbit, how all of this stuff works in a comprehensive video. But what I can do now is I can actually import a new, let's see, import, and from a .bib or .ris file. This basically makes it so you can export those citations and import them or ingest them into any other reference manager. Paperpile, Mendeley, Zotero, really anything, whatever. So we're going to actually import that .bib file, adhd.bib, okay? And the reason I called it ADHD right now is that I actually want to import this, and what it's going to do is it's going to make a collection with the name of the file. So if I just did that, I can, now there you go. There's a collection with the name of that file. You can ignore all these error messages. They're from one of my extensions in Zotero. But all of those references are now contained inside of my collection. Now, something cool that I can do is I can actually double click this collection, that item, and it will actually open up that paper or that page in the browser. Now, I don't think this is actually free and openly available. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah. So it'll actually open that up by double click. But what I can also do is inside of Zotero, find available PDF, and it will go and actually find that item and attach it to this. Now I actually have the actual PDF file inside of Zotero, yada yada. But I'll get more into that kind of detail in my next video. But here we go, is that I just imported that entire file. So you build your collection, you import all those items, and now you have everything in your reference manager. And from there, you can deal with whatever PKM workflow, Obsidian workflow that you want. So, wow, discovery, build your citation.bib file, and there you go. Wow. That is already like a huge boon to academics, being able to collect and find and search for papers like this, and doing a literature review this way is incredible. And now with collections, you can make it by a specific topic, you can add them to other collections, or even cooler, you can share collections with other people. So imagine now you have your journal club, and now you all have papers being added to this particular collection, and it enforces and reinforces the search. So now relevant other additional papers get recommended based on what you put in there. And you can do it for what you all agree to read in that given time. And because you're sharing, you also have the ability to leave notes for each other. Now, this isn't like a note-taking application thing here. So don't think that you're going to be, bi-directional wiki links and markdown syntax, and like you're probably not going to get that. This is really just like quick things like I just read this and disagree with the author. There you go. And so now, like that's it. And if it was multiple people in a shared collection, it would actually have their email address next to it too. So you can see like who's talking about what, or who's leaving comments. You can have like a discussion about the paper there. Probably just like brief stuff is the best kind of notes for that. But there you go. And now the surprising and awesome cool thing about this too is they're working on so many amazing additional integrations and features for this that a two-way sync with Zotero is coming, to where even these notes will be synced to the rich text format files in Zotero. So if I go to Zotero and I say I want to actually add a note, it's going to be like this. That's going to be like the files, once they're made on ResearchRabbit, they're going to get added like that. But also, once it's in ResearchRabbit, anytime I add a paper to my collection, it also syncs over to Zotero. None of this export.bib.ris file and deal with that. It's just going to be synced, which is incredible, especially when you can get the paper into there, because Zotero also has their web service. So then you could also read the paper in your Zotero web client, even if you want. And if you're not using the Obsidian workflow, you could even use the Zotero beta feature to annotate and mark up and extract the annotations from your PDFs. Wow. So you can tell this is a little exciting for people in the academic sphere to see this service coming out. And not only is this an absolutely amazing service or software as a service application, but the mission that this team represents is also something that I would support even if it had nothing to do with my interests that I talk about on this channel. Supporting the academics, supporting minorities, especially minorities in academics and academia, and making research free, open, and available. And honestly, just giving a damn about people, supporting communities, giving back, and making information, knowledge, research open and accessible, and improving the landscape for academics in academia. This is an absolutely amazing program, product, service, software, whatever you want to classify it as. It's completely free, absolutely free. You can go to their application website, and I'll put links to that in the description and pinned comment. You can use my code, and it would help you. I think it bumps you up on the waitlist, or I think, maybe not. In another case, it does also, give me a little bit of a kickback for the referrals. You don't have to, but check out the service. Check it out. It is amazing and incredible, and I think you might like it. So test it out. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, and if you've used it before, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell others, what have you experienced? How have you felt about it? And what are your experiences in dealing with the team? Because every time I want to suggest something, they are absolutely excited for feedback. They want the feedback. They love to just talk and meet with people and discuss. And we even just had a conference just displaying the service itself and how we in the PKM community are using it. And there should probably be a link for that. I'll probably put a link to that. Oh wait, no, we didn't make a video about that. Never mind. But check out Research Rabbit. You will not regret it.